when we go out and march for the dignity and the recognition of the lives of people like Freddie Gray and Eric Garner, the whole place is surrounded by police in riot gear.
Baltimore is burning. After a day of looting and rioters clashing violently with police, tonight a community center in flames.
Without a gun in sight. And here are all of these people flying Confederate flags with semi-automatic weapons. And there's almost no police officers at that protest. So who or what are our institutions protecting from who?
Now, I've never been in a situation with the Mujahideen, nor have I ever spent times in the caves of Pakistan or Afghanistan. But I would think the terrorists probably look a little different than the audience here. I'm just saying, it's my 2 cents. It's just my 2 cents, you know?
There were so many lies leading up to this event, including during this event, and I'm sure are being posted after, that I knew I needed to clarify what really happened in Virginia. Welcome back to the Daily Dose, of course, with your favorite gay black woman, me, Elijah Schaefer. I am reporting live from my Richmond hotel room overlooking the Capitol building. I am extremely tired. We had been traveling for multiple days. I didn't sleep very much in the last weekend. We've had back-to-back protests. But thank you guys so much for tuning back in. Before we get into anything, please check that you are subscribed by clicking the button below and turning on the notification bell always. And if you're watching this on another platform, give us a follow. It really helps us, and we need you to continue to beat the bias of the YouTube algorithms. Okay, so what happened in Virginia? Leading up to this event, the governor declared a state of emergency, saying that there were credible threats of violence that were going to be taken upon the Capitol building. So I knew that my producer and I needed to get down to this event immediately to get ground coverage showing the truth of what really happened. So when I was waking up in my hotel room after arriving, I decided that I was going to get to this event at probably like 8:30 or 9 because the gathering started at 8. And then I was awoken by this guy here. I heard loudspeakers outside my window very early in the morning saying, "This is a revolution! Take to the streets, declare your rights." And I was going, what is going on? I thought there was a riot or something. This is a little Washington Post in me, right? Overreacting. And then I looked outside and I saw this guy here, Alex Jones, in this battle tank, or I don't know, armored vehicle, yelling out the top, you see right there, screaming and telling people that we are fighting for our freedom, so they come and take it sign. So that was an interesting start to the morning. I immediately ran downstairs to try to understand what was going on, and I was ready to see the riots, the Molotov cocktails, the shooting sprees, just the outrage and the violence that was projected. And then when I got there, this is the first clip that I captured. I want to show you what violence really took place on the streets. Watch this. You see the guns firing? Okay, yeah. All right, so that's basically what happened when I arrived. There were people marching. They were open carrying rifles and pistols and different kinds of guns, or as the left likes to call them, assault rifles. Who knows what the hell that means? Anyway, Virginia is an open carry state, so they weren't breaking the law by any means. They were doing nothing wrong. This was a pre-planned event. They already declared their intentions. They said that it was peaceful. This was a gun rally in context. And they were just marching to some revolutionary style music. But it didn't take long during the day, of course, for our favorite friends, including those gun rights activists known as David Hogg from the Parkland school shooting, to start to tweet things. So we had this tweet from David Hogg. I think there's a video here. I'm going to keep the volume off. But you had these people marching through the streets right here. And David Hogg wrote, "How many of these people do you think would support the Black Panthers' right to carry, or armed resistance to the white militias that stole the North American continent? Answer: none, because they only want guns to enforce white supremacy. Okay, well, boo-hoo, David Hogg. I have some bad news for you. This is why I go to these events. And also, incredibly, a journalist I really love from OAN, his name is Jack Posobiec. He's really incredible. He was there too. And there's this really interesting picture, David Hogg, of something that debunks your entire statement. So this is an actual picture of the Black Panthers at the Richmond rally. I mean, I'm telling you, they were there. There were socialists there. In fact, there were many liberal and left-wing people, including transgenders and homosexual people and whatnot, that were there because they were fighting for their right to bear arms, because constitutional rights don't see skin color. However, with AOC trying to say that, yeah, if there were black people there, that there would have been problems, or people writing tweets all the time like, oh, look at this is a white supremacist rally. Well, I have bad news for you. The Black Panthers would probably be upset if you told them that they were white supremacists. And I wrote that. White supremacists pictured were everywhere at the 2A rally in Richmond this afternoon. I gotta take a sip of this. This is too early for this. Anyway, so the media was lying. The truth was out. And that's the problem with the media, is they can't stop lying. They can't stop it. It's just like, ooh. It's like they have a lust for dishonesty. It's like they're possessed by this urge to portray false information. David Hogg, you weren't there, so shut the hell up. And you're not a kid anymore, so you can't do anything. But it gets even better, because when we get there, some reports started saying, oh, only 5,000 people are showing up. But by the time I got there were so many people. I got this video right here. Really, really remarkable. Sorry, I have slow internet, but look at these crowds. I mean, this is a beaut, as Steve Irwin would say, in a better accent than that. I mean, this is one section of people, but they were peaceful. I had never seen more guns in an area. It was the most gun-dense area I have ever been in my entire life. And yet I didn't feel unsafe. There was patriotism and people coming together, singing the national anthem, chants of the USA. And what's unfortunate is if these are domestic terrorists, then the country has made, or the elites of this country have begun to believe that the cornerstone of what makes patriots patriotic is an enemy of our country, which means that I can only think one thing. Perhaps they don't love the traditional sense of what it means to be an American. And no, I'm not meaning white, because there were many more people there that were not white. Damn, I wish we could do this longer, but I want to explain this. So there was this woman here who started yelling. This was really beautiful. This was very common here. Listen to this. So there was... We will not comply. 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 All right. Yeah, we will not comply. There were chants, just normal chants, like we will not comply. We are not going to give in to gun legislation that we think encroaches on our rights, which is something interesting. You know, I sat next to a Planned Parenthood attorney on the flight over here. Very, very difficult to try to edit footage and talk to an attorney from Planned Parenthood. But he was a very intelligent man, very nice man too, by the way. And one thing that was interesting was that, like, he was saying, well, why don't you want common sense gun laws? And I just said, Richmond is like the 4th safest city in the country. Why does Richmond need gun legislation? It just shows me Democrats just want gun legislation even though it may not be necessary, which makes you think, how far are they going to push things? Now, I live in California. I don't own a firearm myself. I'm a huge gun rights activist, but I'm not an activist, but I will be an activist for gun rights if they're encroached upon. But in LA, I mean, we already have pretty extreme gun laws. I have credible threats of violence against myself. I've been assaulted in public at random. I've been harassed. I've had very serious altercations in places when I've just been trying to hang out because people don't like me. And I still can't get a concealed firearm permit because LA doesn't care about about reasonable gun laws. They just care about enforcing and putting in the most strict gun laws that they can legally enforce. And that's what I think people in Richmond are afraid of, is these gun rights activists not stopping. It's like a snowball effect. Of first you limit 30-round magazines, then 15-round magazines, then it's 10. And then once you're past 10, now every firearm owner is now a criminal. Now they have to turn their firearms. Now you have single-shot guns, and then it's just, where does it stop? And where's the effectiveness of these laws? But it's really interesting. because some counter protesters did show up, and holy hell, this is such a good moment of the protest. So these guys, watch this, watch these guys. Oh, come on, computer, please. Okay.
Out now! Trump bans out now! Trump bans out now! Trump bans out now! No white supremacy! No white supremacy! No white supremacy! No white supremacy! A better world is possible!
Okay, I gotta stop this. So this group, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know this is RevCom. They're also known as Refuse Fascism. This is an LA-based group, and I'll tell you why. Some of these people are from Los Angeles, and I saw them at the Women's March this last weekend. They are a professionally funded group that has backing. They shut down the streets of Hollywood regularly. They go down to East Los Angeles and to downtown LA. They get permits and traffic police. These are very poor-looking people. I have nothing against people in poverty. These people protest full-time, which makes you wonder, are they paid? For instance, I do this full-time, and I'm paid to do this. There's no way I can just get to a Richmond rally on Monday and a women's march on Saturday in LA and then fly to Dallas the next weekend. I have to be doing this full-time, and I'm not ashamed of that. But these protesters made it into the Capitol area to protest white supremacy, and here's the best part. Nobody cared. Everyone just said, get out of here. Like, nobody's a white supremacist here. And they were from LA. In fact, one of the activists, I think he's here. Can we scrub this video? Yeah, where is it? Okay, you can kind of see him. This guy back here in the blue hat here, his name's Bo, and he attacked Blair White. So he's fighting for a revolution. They want a bloody revolution in the streets, a communist revolution. It's gonna be hard to do when there's 25,000 patriots and there's 9 of you guys holding a sign. But what do I care? Anyway, that woman looks blind too with those sunglasses. Shout out to my blind viewers, if that even makes sense. But I mean, talk about the blind leading the blind. Anyway, that guy attacked a transgender person. So these people are hypocrites. That was the resistance. They were saying there's going to be a huge counter-protest, massive amounts of resistance. And this was the counter-protest. These were the people that were there. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to let you know that they're paid protesters, not even a real resistance. It was one of the most peaceful events I had ever been to. But it gets a little bit better because I found this guy. The truth is, Epstein didn't kill himself. And I wrote this one issue both the left and the right can come together on at the Richmond gun rally. So there was some, a bit of a trollish kind of people, and I thought it was good. I think we need to call out the pedos, you know what I mean? These child-loving people. We need to call them out. And Epstein did not kill himself. And so I just thought that was funny. I had to include that in here. Anyway, people were having good fun. They were just hanging out. I also ran into, I'm not gonna play the video, I ran into Alex Jones. I'll just play a moment of it here on the streets, which is really interesting.
Oh, Alex, can I get you to comment on the fact that Fox News, Tucker was covering how atrazine was deregulated, and they roasted you and the mainstream made fun of you for all of your claims, and then years later they began claiming the exact same things, saying what you've been saying for years all along.
I would love to take credit 20 years ago when it was in Berkeley science reports and other top research reports that atrazine sterilizes and reduces fertility of amphibians, of fish, of birds, but also of mammals. And so, but what it does is it also confuses males, and then that's what happens with frogs. They want to have sex with the male frog, but then they don't have any eggs, and so the frogs die. And so I said, listen, I'm not against gay people. I just don't want to put chemicals in the water that make the freaking frogs gay. And the media, every late night comic, they all attack me, knowing full damn well that atrazine is a very toxic chemical, and even tiny amounts of it will literally basically shrivel your balls and everything else up so you don't even have a sex life.
Okay. First of all, despite what people don't like about this guy, I think he is hilarious. I know he's done some things that people are not proud of, but to be honest, Alex Jones and his conspiracy theories, like people like to say, are no less harmful than the Russiagate conspiracy theory, the Ukrainegate conspiracy theory, this impeachment sham conspiracy theory. Alex Jones really is no less accurate than the mainstream media. And that being said, I love how they, like Rachel Maddow and people like to say that he's dangerous. It's like you try to distort destroy the country and overturn a democratic election over 2 years with no evidence. Who's really dangerous, Alex or you? Anyway, I just want to talk to him about atrazine because Tucker Carlson talked about the deregulation of this chemical that turns the freaking frogs gay. And I want to know, why are these amphibians doing each other in the frog butt? And I wanted to talk to Alex firsthand. Hey, we would have talked to Alex too. I think he's a hilarious entertainer, but if you don't like him, I could see why too. It all makes sense. But kind of going through this, it was very peaceful. Even Alex wasn't causing any problems. The media surrounded him like a storm, trying to just get him to do something stupid. The only thing that I saw there that was really interesting was this. There was this guillotine that was set up that said the penalty for treason is death. I'm gonna turn this sound off. The penalty for treason is death. Richmond State Police remove a guillotine setup. So it was just like, there was this guillotine, it was just a show. There wasn't any violence. The media liked to cover this. I had to put it up. I'm not biased. If there's any type of thing that needs to be shown, I'll show it. But kind of getting down to this, you know, in the end, when you look at the entire event, you might go, this was a really anticlimactic video. Well, you might think it was anticlimactic, but this is what really happened. There was just people that showed up with firearms at a gun rally, handling their guns properly, exercising their open carry right. But I want to say this. When we try to get onto the Capitol grounds, do you know what's even mostly insane about this? And this is why I have this picture up. Good job today, Governor. Wreck-It Ralph Northam. Really stupid picture. I'm so surprised it didn't get shared more. I like to give myself more credit for this one. I stole it from Reddit, but I don't know who made it, but whoever you are, I'll give you credit. Really good stuff. Ralph Northam put such high security, they didn't want me to bring in my camera rig because they claimed that my camera rig was a weapon. Like my camera rig was a weapon. So they were saying that my camera rig, my producer's camera rig was a weapon. In fact, there was an elderly man who tried to get into the lobby day. He was trying to get into the lobby. And they wouldn't let him through security because he had a cane. They discriminated against the disabled. They saw the man's cane as a weapon. Like, I'm telling you, they weren't just banning guns. This man, old man, they didn't let disabled people in because of their cane. Real story. And they patted me down and had me empty. There was tighter security to get into the grounds of the Capitol than there was for me to sit in the front row to watch President Trump speak. That means Ralph Northam considered his Capitol building more sacred than the Secret Service does the President of the United States. Put that one in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, this is a picture of a fan, a viewer of the show put up. I thought it was just pretty epic, but I just want to say a huge shout out to BlazeTV for always funding these trips and getting us to where we need to go, giving us the resources to get around the country and really expand our operations. It's been such a huge help, but I got to meet tons of fans. I'm talking about hundreds of people who cheered and yelled and were grateful for what's happening at BlazeTV. It is an incredible organization and network, and it is expanding and growing and just really making an influence. We are all around the country and the world, and I got to give a huge shout out. And also just got to say, that is a cool picture, Elijah. Neato. But at the end of it all, what happens at the end of this? You look at the articles, and this is where we end. Gun rights rallies draw 22,000 to Virginia. No violence, only one arrest from the Hill. Gun owners rally, blah, blah, blah. Weapons, flags, no violence, Washington Post. In the end, the media was pissed because they wanted violence. If they probably had stories set up today, waiting and just hoping to discuss about the dangers of white supremacy and gun-owning people. They want to make you think that guns and white people together is white supremacy so they can attack white people and guns at the same time. It's a cultural Marxist dream. Attack the majority. Make everyone feel like a victim. But you know what? You didn't get the story you wanted, so suck it. And also, I want to let you know, the fact that you were craving violence, the fact that you guys wanted and stoked fear in the American people makes you the lousiest, sickest, and worst people in the history of this country. The fact that you craved that Baghdad would be the next Benghazi, the fact that you were hoping that this would be the next Charlottesville makes you elites and Democrat, governor, including you were called out by your own state congressman. Remember, Governor Northam was called out by a state congressman who said that he was trying to set the people of his own state up. You guys are sick. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I want to let you know that you will never, ever get in the way of the American people and their rights in this country. We will always stand up for what we believe in, whether you smear, attack, and try to destroy us. We don't care. We're not going to give you the story that you want because we believe in the red, white, and blue. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching. Have a great rest of the day. As always, my name is Elijah Schaefer, your favorite gay black woman, host of The Daily Dose. We'll see you soon, and if you want to watch the street version of this video, it'll come out within the next week. Have a great rest of the week as well, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.